Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show, brought to you each week by the National Sports Collectors Convention. Join us every Wednesday evening at 6:30 Eastern Standard Time and get the latest news from the greatest experts in the sports collectibles world. You can watch us on the Great American Collectibles Facebook page, as well as YouTube, or you can listen to us on Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, or any of your favorite podcast platforms. And now your hosts, award-winning sports collectibles author Tom Zappola and Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli.
All right, Tom, good to see you. It's nice to see you looking good for your age. I mean, you got some nice color, huh? You must be in Florida.
I am. It's funny because you look as white as a ghost and you're in Florida.
Well, you know why?
You don't sit in the sun at all, do you?
I always sit in the sun, but my skin is too far gone. It can't get dark anymore. Too old.
No, do you use when you sit in the sun, like you and Elsie don't go to the beach much, right?
No, not anymore.
Because we don't either. I mean, we sit by the pool all day, but we don't go to the beach at all. But do you use SPF, like sunscreen?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I do. I have been. Ellen.
Well, you should.
She's been all over me, man. She has been all over.
Yeah,
me.
you can.
Welcome to the Great American Collectibles Show. Tom Zapp, my partner, my paisan, Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. We've got a good show today. We've got first time co-hosting the famous, no more the infamous, Chuck Whisman from Wheatland Auctions. Chuck is joining us, and VSM Sports Card Outlet. We're going to bring Chuck in, and we're also going to bring in our other dear friend, Lee Behrans from Sterling Sports Auction. Lee has an auction going on, so we're going to talk to Lee first, but Chucky Boy is going to join us. How you guys doing? Chuck, how are you?
Great. Doing awesome.
You look good, man. You look good. And Lee, how are you doing?
Very, very good. We're starting to get rid of snow, so that's a good sign.
Now, Lee, I got a question. So the piece of furniture behind you, was that donated to you by Custer or one of those people? Thomas Jefferson?
It's actually my wife's family had this piano that I don't know if it wasn't working, but basically that was a piano at one time that they kind of took apart and pieced this together. It's full of liquor, so if you want some after the show.
That's what we like. Oh, Rico doesn't drink at all.
I don't drink, no. What?
When was
that's
it?
amazing. You know, that could be worth a ton of money. You ought to put that on the your auction.
Yeah, it's really heavy. I mean, when we got to move it, we have to have sliders and stuff. So.
You know something? It's funny you mentioned that because, Rick, you know the piano we have in the pub at home?
Yeah.
You're the only one that ever plays it when you come over the house. That piano, I said to Ellen, when we downsize, that piano's not moving. That's going to come with the house. If you don't like it, don't buy the house because I'm not moving that sucker. Forget it.
Well, yeah, you got to have movers to move it.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. All right, let's chat with. And by the way, Chuck, jump in anytime you want. Lee, you have an auction going on. Number one, when did it start and when does it end?
It started 2 weeks ago. It ends Thursday, March 27th.
So that's tomorrow night.
Yep, you need to get your initial bid in by 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to get into extended bidding.
Yep. You know, it's interesting because I'm glad that you're on when Chuck is on because, you know, we always kind of categorize our sponsors and some of the auction houses. And, you know, we always talk about this with you, Lee, that you have a niche. You've had a great niche. You have a great customer base. Again, we've always called it the 80-20 rule. Because your audience your stuff is very affordable and is really cool. Chuck, I put you in the same category, maybe a little bigger organization. Plus, you have the shop. It's good. It's you guys are all friendly competitors. That's what I like. Anyway,
they're different. They live in different parts of the country, right?
Yeah. Chuck is in. Chuck, where are you in Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, yep, Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Yeah. And you know, the neat thing these days is the buyers are everywhere. So, because any of us that have an online auction, you know, as Lee sees, we have buyers all over the place, and you never know who's going to be biggest buyer on a particular item.
It's
Sometimes
unbelievable.
it's an
the way
investment group, you know?
It really is. It's really interesting the way it works now. So, Lee, let's talk about the auction. What are some of the highlights?
Well, some of the ones that I got 4 different cobs in this auction. And the one I really like is the Oxford confectionaries. You don't see them very often.
Right. That's a nice card.
Love you. A couple red cobs. This one's got a sovereign back. This glare is fun to deal with, but it's a sovereign back.
What's the grade on that?
That is a 4. It's
nice.
Very, very nice 4.
Yeah, and that back is awesome.
That's a great
back.
back.
It's a 350, which I believe those super prints, the 350s are tougher than the 460s.
Yeah.
So that helps. I had a consignment of 23 of the 25 E95s, including the Wagner and the Cobb and the Matheson.
Do you still have, is the E95 in your auction?
Yeah, this is the Cobb in there. And I also had the Wagner and, like I said, the Matheson. It's not a very high grade stuff, but as we say, they're affordable. I mean, if someone's looking for an E95 Wagner and you're on a budget, you got to check it out.
Rumor has it that one Lee Behrans happens to have access to an E90-2 Wagner. Does he? Or he used to?
Yeah. Can't remember if it's a 2 or a 3, but
no, yeah. The E90-2 though. You have one, right?
Yes.
And it's yours?
Yes.
So if you ever want to leave it to me, feel free. It's a great card. That's a great card.
Tom, I have a question for both the guys. When does a collector who wants to, put it up for auction, when do they have to get it into you? Is there a time limit? Can they do it the same day, hours before? I mean, after getting everything, right.
For myself, if it's ungraded stuff, I like to have it 10 days out from the start, just because they tend to take more time to put up.
Yeah.
And being a one-man show, I do it all myself. As far as graded cards, if I can get them 2 or 3 days before the start of the auction.
Oh, that's still good. Okay, good.
Yeah, because they're easy to scan. I mean, my scanner allows me to do 4 at a time.
What else do you have, Lee?
I have, for the modern cards, I got a Mattingly rookie and a 10.
Very nice. Great card.
A 1996 Circa Rave Derek Jeter. This is a very low pop card. This is a PSA 7, but it's a very low pop card for the modern collectors. I thought that these pieces were really neat, that somebody sent me 3 Topps panel salesmen.
Oh, those are cool.
58, 59, 61, or 66. This one's got Koufax on the back, the 66.
Nice.
Which I thought was really neat. There's a 34 Gaudi Lou Gehrig.
What's the grade on that? I can't tell from here.
It is a 2. I wish I didn't have.
No, that's a great card. Are you kidding?
Yeah, those Gehrig stuff isn't cheap. That's for sure on any of it. I've been having a nice influx of unopened material. This is a 68 Series 4 cello pack with the game card on the back.
You don't get into memorabilia much, correct?
Not much. I get some on occasion. I got some regular consigners that I'm willing to take it on for them.
Yeah.
But a lot of it, I just send them to another auction house to, if I feel it's a better fit for them. But
so keep Chuck in mind, because Chuck, you do get into memorabilia.
Yeah, no, we're happy to. Help your contacts out for sure.
I have a bat, a Rico Petrocelli game used bat. It's got a hole in the barrel because that's the bat that he went 0 for 32 on.
Well, did any of Rico's bats? Did any of his bats ever have use on them?
Oh,
Didn't he swing and miss a lot, Tom?
Well, no, actually, there was one bat that he did hit 40 home runs with.
That's
which
awesome.
I'm very proud to make that announcement periodically, right, Rico?
Excuse me?
We got you sleeping.
It was tougher let me see. Yeah, to go 0 for 32. Easier to go 0 for 32. You know what I mean?
Right.
Did he sign the bat
Strikeouts,
for 32?
pop-ups. Huh?
He went, yeah, but the thing was,
Started
Rico,
get-
you started losing your hair, correct?
Well, no, it's I told you what I did. But when I went home, I parked on the highway there and laid in the middle, hoping that somebody would run over me. But
Oh, that's funny.
no, it was tough. I'll tell you the truth.
I'm
You
sure
know,
it
0 for
was.
4, 0 for 8, 0 for 12, 0 for 16. I mean, oy vey.
He still gets anxiety.
Lee showed Sandy Koufax card there. Did you did face Koufax, right? What was he?
Oh, mostly in
Like-
spring training, yeah.
Yeah,
he-
what was he like?
Was he tough, Freak? Yeah. Was
Nah,
he
I hit him real good.
No, seriously, I know that you couldn't hit Nolan Ryan, but did you have any success against Koufax in spring
But
training?
Koufax, we faced a lot in spring training, late in spring training when him and Drysdale and the rest, Padres, they had their good stuff. You know, they were ready for the season. So that's when you would think about how you would do against guys like that. Now,
Really?
he had, somebody said, was it you? Who said he threw didn't throw even 90 miles an hour?
I never said that. I
Bull
never
crap.
said that. But he used to.
But he had a
used to-
curveball that you forget.
Yeah,
It's
12-6, man. The thing used to go.
Oh, but it was just
and
it
it
was
had some
unbelievable.
speed. Hey, Lee, a couple of other items before we
Yeah,
let you
I
go.
got a
Yeah.
1961 set that there were some graded cards in there, so I broke them off individually.
Is it a complete set?
Yeah, it's a complete set within it. I broke off
Yeah.
7 of the graded, and there's a 1964 set in there that it had a Negro rookie in it that was an 8. Well, the rest of the set was lower than that, much lower. So the Negro's by itself, but the rest of the set is available in there.
Awesome, awesome.
Nice.
All right, so when does it end, Lee? And you have a couple more?
Thursday. Yeah, this is got the back. It's a postcard from the 1934 Japanese tour with
Ruth?
Ruth and
Hey.
Gary. There we go. That's
Very cool. Very
So
cool.
yeah, that's really neat. What also I have in there, and I should have pulled it down, is I believe it's a 1971 photo of the Hall of Famers on there. They're all in dress clothes, but there's 17 autographs on it.
Oh,
Nice.
There's 15 I can see, but the other 2 I think
Are these Hall of Famers that were they Hall of Famers at the time, or are you talking about guys like in '71? Guys like some of those real old timers were still living.
Yeah, there are most of them were there because I think one of the guys that called me about it, Boudreaux, was the only one that was inducted that year, and he's in there. And I even had a tough time figure out faces to who they were. I mean, they did sign above their name. Campanella's in there, Max Carey.
Oh, all right, so you got some good stuff.
Yeah, so obviously you could tell Campanella because he's in his wheelchair. So
yeah.
that many. Yeah, really neat photo. And the one guy told me that he thought that might be the only photo of that whole deal.
Yeah, you should get that checked out then. If it's too late now, but
BVG authenticated the autographs.
They did.
Yeah.
What is your website address?
SterlingSportsAuctions.com.
And it ends tomorrow night, which is Thursday. And what time does it end?
To get your initial bid in, it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the extended bidding just kind of goes. It's a 15-minute rule that, and you can bid on any item in the auction, and even if you didn't get an initial bid on them. That's a little different than a lot of the auction houses. But
Good.
Yeah, if you got one bid in, you're good to go and extended bidding and bid on what you want.
All right, Lee. We'll talk to you down the road.
Yeah.
And one other
Take
thing
care.
is the only state we have to charge sales tax in is Minnesota, since that's where we're
No
from.
sales tax.
So
That's
if you
huge.
buy something from us, there's no sales tax.
Awesome. All right,
Yeah.
Lee. Awesome. Thanks so much.
Good luck,
And
Lee.
we'll talk to
Thanks,
you
Thank
down the
you.
road.
Nice meeting you, Chuck.
Yeah,
Rico,
bud.
behave.
What?
Behave a little.
Oh yeah, we always do.
Oh yeah.
We always do.
yeah. That's
All right, let's Chuck. A couple of things. We got a lot to talk about. I right out of the gate. Well, actually, before we're out of the gate, a little history on. I know that you have two lives, like I do. And
Two wives? Did you say two wives?
No, lives. Lives.
Excuse me.
On the card collectible end of it, how did you guys get into your business? Because you're not your run-of-the-mill little auction house, man. You're building an empire, to be honest with you. How did you guys get into it?
Yeah, I always collected since I was a kid, and went to college for engineering. Even when I was a teenager, my dad had a plumbing store outside of Philadelphia, and he had a store next to it. We put baseball cards in there. So started pretty young, but then got into engineering business. I always bought and sold collections as a hobby.
Yeah.
And just saw an opportunity just to help people out and help people with everything. I was seeing a lot of situations where, auction houses do great work. There's a lot of good auctions out there, but not all of them will take a customer or consignor and help them, guide them on everything they have. Sometimes somebody passes away, and the family just could be taken advantage of, or might have somebody just take the best 2 or 3 things from in the collection and just leave them with everything. So we decided, Stacy was an occupational therapist. She stayed home with the kids. When the kids went into school, she got her auctioneering license, and we opened both the store and the auction on the same day.
It's really funny. The parallel, there's a lot of parallels between you and I, and especially with Ellen, because Ellen was a newspaper publisher, and she ran 5 or 6 different newspapers, and she decided to retire when the newspaper industry decided to collapse, and she wasn't going to hang around, and that's when we got into writing. Both of us got into writing, and the rest is history for us. Because the only reason we were able to do it is because she was able to be home and work out of a home office, and it took off from there. So
she did all the work. And
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Well, and it's one of those things, what you learn from your other career
absolutely
helps you, and I think a lot of times gives you an advantage. And I still do a lot of environmental engineering work and business development there, and helping big companies with their biggest engineering or environmental issues. And what I've learned from customer service, client relations there, or helping my dad as a kid, plumbing store or plumbing jobs.
We are chatting with Chuck Whisman from Wheatland Auctions. Rick, do you have a question? Or
I wanted to ask him. Watching those, looking at those pictures behind Chuck. Rockwell, do you have any? He's done a couple of those, baseball paintings. You have any of those?
We've sold them in auction before. Yeah,
you have.
Some great items. Yeah.
I mean, do you get into artwork much, Chuck?
We'll sell it.
Yeah.
If somebody has something neat, and we definitely try to work hard to market it. If it's something unique, crossover industries, sometimes you get people in other industries. One of my favorite stories is from the Uncle Jimmy collection.
Yeah.
One of I think the most expensive Babe Ruth card to sell went to a group of investors who really made their foray in video games and getting video games created. And they saw a social media post about the Uncle Jimmy collection and wanted one of the biggest items to invest in. And they purchased a Babe Ruth signed Gowdy card, 1933 Gowdy card.
Wow. Listen, before we take a break, I want to talk about briefly the actual store itself. And then we're going to get into Wheatland. I want to get into the media stuff you guys are doing. Your store is not your run-of-the-mill card shop. I mean, you guys put some serious bucks into that. How's it doing? Is it successful? I mean, how big a city is Lancaster? I mean, it's decent size?
Yeah, pretty good size, and a lot of tourists come here. And we probably have one of the biggest sports complexes for high school competitions across sports, just a couple miles from here. So that also brings a lot of people who are traveling in for travel games and stopping by.
I can't, for our viewers and listeners, I can't stress, go on to their cards, their card shop site. What is it? VSM Auctions? What is it?
VSM Sports Card Outlet.com.
Just to look at what the shop looks like. And then after we come back from our little AI thing, I want to talk about what you guys are doing with media and film in the shop and outside of the shop, because you guys are doing some pretty
good,
cool, cutting edge stuff. Check us in the house. When we come back, it is the AI baseball tournament. We are in the Elite Eight, and this week's game is, what's this week's game? Oh, 1939 New York Yankees versus the 1975 Cincinnati Reds. Let's see who won that game. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Since 1996, Brian Drent and the staff at Denver's Mile High Card Company have led the charge in the collectibles hobby. Mile High is a full-service dealer specializing in buying and selling cards and offers a competitive consignment program for all collectors. Whether it be their computerized want list service, appraisals, or auction services, Mile High has it all. If you've been searching for a company with a selection of high-grade vintage 1888 to 1970 baseball cards and memorabilia that shares your passion, aim high, Mile High. Go to milehighcardco.com or call 303-840-2784 for more information.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
This is Brian Drent, president of Mile High Card Company. Is your sports card and memorabilia collection properly insured? For easily replaced personal property, homeowners insurance is all most people need. But for prized possessions that you may have spent a lifetime collecting, it doesn't go nearly far enough. Collectibles Insurance Services has been insuring for over 50 years. They offer a full range of protection and a $0 deductible at an affordable rate with no appraisals required. I know because they insure my collection. If you have a minute, go to collectinsure.com and learn more about insuring your personal card or memorabilia collection.
How would you like to own the bat that was used by your favorite player when he hit that towering home run or game-winning base hit? Now look no further than JT Sports, specializing in the sale and authentication of professional game-used bats. As the official authenticators of professional model game-used bats for PSA DNA, JT Sports will guarantee the authenticity of any bat purchased from them. JT Sports also buys and sells game-worn uniforms, gloves, and baseball equipment. The unique quality of the collectible is what JT Sports is all about. Give them a call at 609-487-8003 or check them out at GameUseBats.com.
Okay, we are back, and Chuck Whisman from Wheatland Auctions is in the house with us. But right now, it's time for the great AI GAX baseball tournament, brought to us each week by our good friend Paul Borges and the staff at PB Collectibles. Rico, you okay?
Yeah, I'm looking at here.
Chuck, does he look like he's sleeping?
He looks like he's taking another nap.
Yeah, I'm looking for the 1939.
Yeah, all right. So go to pbcollectibles.com to purchase that special vintage card that you've been looking for. Paul Borges has been a great supporter of the show. All right. This week, let's go through this real quick. We had a Sweet 16 ranked by AI, and here's how they ranked initially. And Chuck, again, feel free to jump in after the results. Number 1 was the 1927 Yankees. Number 2, the 1906 Chicago Cubs. Number 3, the 75 Cincinnati Reds. Number 4, the 98 Yankees. Number 5, the 2001 Seattle Mariners. Number 6, the 39 New York Yankees. Number 7, the 61 I'm getting yankied out. Number 7, the 61 New York Yankees. Number 8, the 84 Tigers. Number 9, the 1919 Chicago Black Sox. Number 10, the 2004 Boston Red Sox. Number 11, the 42 Cardinals. Number 12, the 86 Mets. Number 13, the 95 Atlanta Braves. Excuse me. Number 14, the 1970 Baltimore Orioles. Number 15, the 1929 Philadelphia Athletics. And number 16, the 1955 Brooklyn Dodgers. This week, I'm not going to go through who won. You're going to have to kind of pay attention. Last week it was, who was it last week, Rico? I think it was the Red Sox, 2004 Red Sox beat whoever they played. Anyway, so this week the matchup was in the Elite Eight. This is the third round of the Elite Eight. The 1975 Cincinnati Reds against the 1939 New York Yankees. For the pitching matchups, we had Lefty Gomez. No, I'm sorry. We had Don Gullett for the Reds facing Red Ruffing for the Yankees. And here is the breakdown as to what happened. It's not every inning, just a little synopsis. We're going to jump right to the second inning. Bottom of the second, Bill Dickey singles. George Selkirk doubles him in. Frankie Crissetti's sac fly scores Selkirk. And the Yankees win. The Yankees take a 2-0 lead. Let's jump to the third inning, top of the third with the Reds. Pete Rose walks, Joe Morgan singles, and Johnny Bench knocks in Rose with a double, and the score is 2-1. Fourth inning, your old friend, Rico, Tony Perez singles home Ken Griffey Sr., and they tie the score 2-2. Bottom of the fourth, Joe DiMaggio belts a solo home run, and the score is now 3-2. Sixth inning, top of the sixth, Johnny Bench singles, moves to second on a ground out, and scores on a Dave Concepcion single. The Reds tie it up 3-3. Eighth inning, bottom of the eighth, Frankie Crissetti leads off with a walk. Joe DiMaggio singles him to third. Bill Dickey lines a sac fly to break the tie, and the Yankees take a 4-3 lead. Top of the ninth, Johnny Bench singles. But reliever Johnny Murphy, who has come in, induces a game-ending double play from Tony Perez, your old friend, and the 1939 Yankees prevail 4-3. Go ahead, Rico. I want to hear this now.
Well,
I'll tell
you,
bitch. I know.
The Big Red Machine had they could hit, they could field. Excellent.
And no pitching.
Pitching was the difference. Look at this. Hey, the Yankees, 39 Yankees. Jeez. Bill Dickey, who he was a catcher, 128
He's a good catcher.
Yeah, 24 homers, 105 RBIs. Joe Gordon, 28 homers, 111 RBIs.
It's unbelievable.
George Selkirk, 21 homers, 101 RBIs. Get this. Joe DiMaggio, 30 homers, 126 RBIs.
That's incredible.
Wait, 381 he hit. Are you kidding me?
All right, so
I agree. I think they're
they should have won. Chuck, what are your thoughts on that? Because the 75, I mean, that was a good baseball team.
Oh yeah,
that lineup was amazing on the big red machine. And Yankees had some great teams. That 39 team, as Rico said, Joe DiMaggio had an insane season that year.
And you know, I mean, Rico's making a good point that the Achilles heel on that 75 team was their pitching. Don Gullett was their big gun. Rico, who was their number 2? Do you remember?
No.
Right? I mean, I don't remember who faced you guys at number 2. I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, they had guys who come back from injuries. The bullpen was so-so. And you know, they were hittable. Let's put it that way. And we hit pretty good against them.
I mean, because when you think about it, your 75 team, you guys had a hell of a pitching staff, if I recall. Oh, wait, was that 75? You had? Oh no.
Well, no. I mean, Rick Wise had.
You had Rick Wise. You had Louis.
Louis had 18. And what's his name?
Bill Lee.
Well, Lee had 17. I think it was 17. And Roger Moret was 14-2.
I forgot about that. And you had Dragon. The Dick Drago had a good season.
Drago had good. Yeah, we had a good. But they had a great defense. I mean,
all right, so next week's
Decepcion.
Week's matchup is it'll be a good one too. It's
1890.
No, this is a good one. The 1998 New York Yankees, which was a great team, against the 86 Mets. That's going to be a good game next week. All right, let's get back to Chuck.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys realize there were 3 players on the 75 Reds who were in the World Series in 1983 for the Phillies?
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, and Tony Perez.
Yeah, but they were 80 years old by then.
Yeah,
So
that's why they called it the Wheeze Kids, not the Whiz Kids. You know?
Rico, how good was Joe Morgan?
Well, he was excellent. You know, I mean, I played against him in the minors. We came up almost at the same time. But
Good guy.
Joe he had power. He could hit tough out. Excellent second baseman. Could run. I mean, he had it. He had a lot going for him. I mean, he was just a great athlete.
Good guy.
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, he was what's the word? He didn't give us credit. He really got on us in 75. Who are these guys? Yeah, who are these guys? You know, he said one time was quoted as saying, "Hey, we won the series. You could think the Red Sox won because of Fisk's home run."
Oh, right.
You know, that's all they talk about that time. And he got all over us. But no, he was a hell of a great player.
All right, Chuck, I want to talk about what you guys are doing with your creative media presence. You know, you guys, you just did the Card Life show, didn't you, recently?
Yeah, Brandon, who is the producer of that show, always wanted to do a documentary, a day in the life of a local card shop. So he came for one day, filmed amazing amount of content, and we did that's the show that's airing right now. So if anybody's watching this, if you just check your local listings, search for the Card Life, it'll tell you when in your area that comes on. A lot of times before or after local sports games and all.
So did they just approach you? I mean, out of the clear blue sky?
Yeah, well, we were, helping to sponsor the box breaks and giving Matt Strama, the Phillies, all the boxes to break. And we chatted about it different times. I said, Brandon, pick a day. You never know what might happen at the store. And it was a Tuesday, and it was like the most festive, fun, crazy day.
I mean, did a lot of people, obviously you got the word out. Did a lot of people show up because they were going to be filming?
We did not broadcast that a TV show was going to be filmed.
No way.
We had some pack wars at the end of the day. That's the only thing I think we, announced that we'd be doing later in the day. But we had auction consignments come in, and we had people showing off their cards, people dropping things off for grading, and lots of people buying and telling their stories. And he ended it by telling a story about two customers. One, Rich is probably late 60s, and Kaysen is probably 12, 13 years old maybe, and how they're good friends and they meet at the store a couple times a week just to rip packs together and talk about who to collect.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
And I say,
that's very neat.
Chuck, I don't know if you've ever watched Me TV, and there's a collectible show, a girl, she was an actress, they have every week, and they have people on that have, it's like stuff like not as much, not baseball. I've never seen a baseball card show, but somebody that has all kinds of.
I've seen that show, Rico.
Baseball. I mean, you should have a show like that. There's a lot of stations that want programming. A lot of stations.
I agree with him, Chuck. You guys,
and we've talked. Yeah, I was just in spring training to film a box break for the Card Life in April, and Brandon and I are going to use that same content we had. We had so much extra content that couldn't fit into the half-hour show. Yeah. We're going to put a pilot together.
I think you
card shop show.
Yeah, you guys would be perfect at that.
Well,
we've talked about doing something like that, but we like doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
And point being is that because of what you guys are doing, Rico, you haven't seen any of their. They have these little videos. And Chuck, who's the brains behind the content of those videos? Because some of them are hysterical.
Really. Stacy's taken that over. We had with initially some guidance from our kids on TikTok and the different platforms and how to do it. But she's enjoying it. She's loving it. We have a lot of younger staff that we have help us with the store. So initially we were using some of the younger staff to do social media, but then with Stacy taking it over, we're getting content out every day or two.
Are you really?
Some of it, like a couple of the recent ones have, I think, over 1 million views. I mean, that's
crazy.
I believe that. Just think if you can go to the National when they had, what's his name's jersey, Ruth's jersey. What did it go for? 24 million?
I mean, you could do stuff. Yeah, you could do some really cool stuff.
All kinds of stuff, man.
I mean, that's something you guys should really consider. Like even at the National, as Rico's saying, get yourself a cameraman. You guys a little equipment. It doesn't take much. And Rico did. We did a couple of spots. And if Rico, I don't. Yeah, you remember this?
Yeah.
The National asked us to do a couple of spots promoting the National. So Rico and I, we did the spots in the studio, and believe it or not, they wanted the outtakes.
Nice.
Because
crazy,
Rico and I got out of hand, and we're reading the script, and Rico's having a hard time breathing because his belt is too tight, and it was absolutely hysterical. So we sent them off to Ray Schulte at the time. Ray says, "Are you kidding? This is gold."
That's awesome.
Then run them, man. Do what you got to do.
That's it. See, I'm a marketing guy. I've been in broadcast since 1977. And it excites me when I hear something like that because you guys have done a great job. Is that your son? So have you, Tom. You've done a wonderful job with the show. Really,
is that your son, Chuck?
No, Elliot's just one of our store employees. Good kid,
nice kid.
Yeah, and we have 3 girls, and two of them sometimes get into social media stuff. But yeah, Elliot's a talented kid. He's going to Alabama next year. So
he's got a dry sense of humor, which is very cool. Very dry sense of humor. And I tell you what, man, Stacy does a good job in front of the camera also. Yeah. She really does. She's funny, man.
Fun. We're later this week we're filming a Rodney Dangerfield episode. So
Ellen and I
with different takes from Caddyshack. So that I'm looking forward to that.
I mean, it's awesome. Ellen and I were looking at a couple. We were like laughing. I said, that is like gold. That's really cool stuff. We are chatting with Chuck Whisman from Wheatland Auctions. Rico.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you earn your money and tell our viewers or talk about
money?
Talk about our viewers. Talk about
money.
Charlie Perino and JRI.
Well, let me get it first. Take a nap because this is a long one.
Oh, it is not.
JRI cards. We know Charlie. He's just a great guy, and he's He's done a great job with his company.
We may see him this weekend, by the way.
Yeah, I hope so. If you want to have an absolute blast at obtaining some great modern or vintage cards, you got to check out JRI Cards. Our paisan, Charlie, the Iron Ripper Perino, along with Money Marco, the Dollar Girls, and the JRI gang, give you the chance to participate in opening a graded, unopened, and sealed fresh wax, or I'll call it cello pack of your favorite sport or non-sport.
Why do you always mispronounce that?
A lot of people say cello.
Cello.
It's cello,
That's
Rico.
really what
Cello.
it sounds. It's cello, but I call it cello.
That's the Italian way of saying that.
Well, I'm Italian. It's American. Anyway, it's easy, folks. If you're going to do the cello or cello pack of your favorite sport or non-sports favorite, it's easy. You buy in, Charlie opens the packs, and you get a packed fresh card. It's that simple. As a matter of fact, if you pull that special jewel, the guys at JR Cards will even have it graded for you on the house. Featured in the LA Times, ESPN, USA Radio, JRI is the hottest card pulling show on the internet. Charlie and his staff make it fun, entertaining, and enjoyable with his collection of hats and sound effects. And don't forget that JRI donates a part of their proceeds to various charities. That's JRI Cards. Check out their exclusive breaks and events that everyone is talking about. They're always digging up cardboard treasures. For a great hobby experience, go to jricards.com. And if you don't, we'll break your legs. All right.
Hey, Chuck, I have a question about that. It's been an issue with me for the last several months. We talked about, we always talk about manufactured rarities. But has the fact that all of these card shops, card manufacturers are cutting deals with players to sign cards before they're even released, isn't that impacting the cards that are out there as far as the value of them? For instance, a Mike Trout card, Mike Trout rookie card, signed by Mike Trout 4 years ago, beautiful card at a ball game, versus a Mike Trout card that was signed before it was released. Is there, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, the ones that were signed that came out in the product always have the best value. Now with vintage collectors, remember, I don't know, even 5-10 years ago, people kind of shied away from getting old vintage cards signed, but now old vintage rookie cards are worth a lot of money. And now when you go to a card, let's see, a big show like the Philly show just happened, or at the National, the cost to get a rookie card signed is more than a regular autograph cost. So there's different levels for the autographs, and those rookie cards, you know, it's going to cost you more to get that signed. So it is interesting. Now the current new market, it is busy and hot, and you know, right now it's baseball season starting, and there's just not enough new baseball product.
But
Topps came out with Series 1, and that's it, you know?
Yeah, but and then we have about a minute left, and then we have to take a break. But they can basically, the manufacturers can do anything they want. I mean, there are finite Babe Ruth cards out there. Babe Ruth's dead. We've said that 1,000 times, and that's whatever is out there is out there.
Yes.
However, the card manufacturers, they can create one of ones all day long if they choose. I have a problem wrapping my arms around that. Rico, I don't think you do. I do. I just think that, you know, anybody can create, if you're a manufacturer, a one of one. What are your thoughts on that, Chuck?
Yeah, well, there's certain one of ones that hold more value. You know, some companies manufacturers might make more, all kinds of crazy one of ones. But if it's a Topps or Bowman product and it's the top rookie to have, there's only one of one superfractor. So there's certain ones that are more valuable than others, that are the ones that people are looking for. The current market is just insane. I like to go to the regional card shows on weekends.
Yeah.
And the traffic at the regional shows, and the makeup of people under 30 spending thousands of dollars each at a show is like never before.
I know, and I
even
agree
like
with
that. I mean, COVID times, things started getting crazy, and it's even a lot more people in it than then. So, and most of them are going after the new stuff, and most of these shows are now at least 25% Pokemon dealers.
Well, I want to talk about that. We're going to take a quick break because I want to talk about Pokemon. Chuck is in the house. Chuck Whisman from Wheatland Auctions. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back on deck with Rico, we have another segment with Chuck. Hang in there. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Curry, a two-time child cancer survivor, recipient, and advocate for Lucy's Love Bus. The mission of Lucy's Love Bus, 501c3 nonprofit, is to provide joy, comfort, and quality of life for the entire family of children with cancer. Since 2006, they have delivered love and comfort to over 3,000 children with cancer and their family members across New England. The dream of Lucy Grogan, an 11-year-old cancer patient, was to help kids with cancer who are suffering right now, before there is a cure, by offering free, integrative therapies like art, music, horseback riding, and many other activities. Unfortunately, Lucy passed away, but her dream lives on, and today Lucy's Love Bus is thriving.
I'm Red Sox Hall of Famer Rico Petrocelli. I hope that you'll consider supporting Lucy's Love Bus and all of those children who have been stricken by cancer. The Great American Collectibles Show is partnering with Lucy's Love Bus to help these kids. Let's continue Lucy's dream. Please go to lucyslovebus.org for more information.
Pristine Auction is a family-owned and operated online auction specializing in autographed memorabilia, sports cards, coins, art, and collectibles. Since their founding in 2010, they've grown to 2 facilities in Phoenix, Arizona, totaling over 60,000 square feet. Jared Cavalier and an incredible staff of over 150 team members serve a very large customer base and enjoy every minute of it. By working with leading authentication companies, Pristine ensures all items are 100% authentic. In addition, third-party authenticators regularly travel to Pristine Auction to provide authentication services on site. Pristine Auction strives to operate its business in a way that's honoring to God, their families, and their customers. With a strong focus on speed, quality, and premier customer service, their mission is to be the leading online auction for every level of collector and fan. Pristine also works for Hope Sports and Identity Hoops International, traveling to Mexico to build houses for the less fortunate. Pristine Auction offers several online auction formats with thousands of auctions ending each day. For more information, go to pristineauction.com. That's Pristine Auction, the best in the business.
If you're a discerning collector interested in owning the most important pieces in the hobby, look no further than Leland's Auctions. The original sports auction and appraisal house, Leland's was established in 1985 by legendary Pioneer founder Joshua Leland Evans. And today, President Mike Hefner carries on their tradition. From the Tom Brady card and memorabilia collection to the famed Boston Garden Auction to high-end card auctions from every major sport, Leland's has always maintained the highest standards. Go to Lelands.com and get your bid in. That's Leland's, the hobby's leading sports auction house for 4 decades.
It's often been said that championships are won on the practice field, and world records come only to those willing to work harder than everybody else. Heritage Auctions is the world's largest collectibles auctioneer because we believe that becoming the best is only an invitation to the challenge of remaining the best. This requires the skills of the hobby's top experts, capable of identifying and maximizing value for our consigners. It requires the most visited website in the industry, courting a global audience of collectors over 1.5 million strong. It requires a dedicated press department that expands our global reach far beyond the entrenched hobby marketplace. It's hard work, but a simple premise. Present the finest collectibles to the largest population of potential buyers, and world records will come. We invite all listeners to put the unmatched power of Heritage Auctions to work for you. Auction evaluations are always free, and our commission-based fee structure ensures that our interests are always aligned. Highest possible price for your collectibles. There will always be new world records to chase, so let's chase them together. Visit our website at ha.com and request your no-obligation review today.
Hi, this is Dan from Memory Lane Auctions, here to remind you that the renowned Memory Lane Collectibles Company has served as a beacon of light to the collecting community for the past several decades. Indeed, folks, it has been our utmost privilege and pleasure to provide the most enthusiastic collectors with an abundance of the finest sports cards and memorabilia for America's most coveted sports personalities via our world-class auctions. Whether you choose either a private sale transaction or the auction route, Memory Lane cordially invites you to reach out to us to maximize the value of your prized possessions. Also, it is not just sales that we pride ourselves on being the best of the rest, because if you are seeking a particular keepsake for your esteemed gathering, we will be relentless in our quest to find that special piece to fulfill your collecting dreams. So no time to wait. Reach out to us today for the purposes of capitalizing on our unparalleled marketing capabilities. Simply pick up the phone and dial 877-606-5263. That's 877-606-LANE, or find us on the World Wide Web at www.memorylaneinc.com. Now is the time for your valued consignment to ultimately become another one of Memory Lane's record-setting prices.
Hey, I'm Mike Petroselli. If your company is looking for the best in marketing and promotional items, you'll hit a home run with Petroselli Marketing. With over 8,000 suppliers and 650,000 imprint-ready items, we can get your company the visibility it needs to get your maximum exposure. Whether it be office promotions, wearables, automotive, sports items, and everything in between, Petroselli Marketing can do it all. Our design staff will even work with you from concept to delivery and customize your products. At Petroselli Marketing Group, we will get your brand in front of your audience. Contact us at info@petrosellimkt.com or call us at 603-880-3202. That's Petroselli Marketing, where no dream is impossible.
Yes, Petroselli Marketing. Would you please go there and buy some stuff for me, for my kid, for Pete's sakes?
Hold on. That's not a good promotion.
Well,
because you sound like you're begging.
Well, I am. No, but go to petrosellimkt.com. You see all the stuff they have, and he does all the embroidery and everything. And
all right, real quickly, it's time for our segment.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. All right, it's time for our segment On Deck with Rico, brought to us each week by our good friend Brian Dwyer and the great staff at REA Auctions. Don't forget to get your bid in by going to robertedwardauctions.com. That's Robert Edward Auctions for extraordinary results and extraordinary service. This week's question submitted by Frank Gallo. Easy one, Rico. Your thoughts on Earl Weaver?
Well, I thought he was a hell of a manager, although he did have a great team. I was in AA when he managed their AA team, and he was the same then. He argued with the umpire there. At one time, he started to jump on the base, third base, because he was the third base coach in the minors. Anyway, he's like just jumping up and down, And of course, he did the same thing. I mean, he got thrown out, more than any other manager?
Yeah, pretty much.
But he was a very good manager. He knew his players. And listen, even though you have great players playing for you, you still have to manage them.
Right.
I mean, there's a certain way you got to be careful.
I think Cora does that. I think Cora handles his guys very well.
Cora does an excellent job with that. Yes.
Right.
And hey, I was just at a spring training game, and they have the ball strike challenge going on.
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
I
haven't seen it.
What are your thoughts on that, Chuck?
There was a pitcher who called a challenge 2 pitches in a row. Got a little annoying.
Yeah.
I think there were a lot.
Was he right though?
Within one, he was right both times.
See, that's the problem.
But it was so close. I mean, it was and the ball just has to touch to be a strike. This little box that they show.
What happens, Chuck? Does it come up on the board?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it comes up on the board, and it shows the strike zone as a white box.
Okay.
And it shows the ball as a color.
Mm-hmm.
And if it touches the white box, it's a
right. Then
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All right, we're talking to Chuck. Chuck from Wheatland Auctions. Chuck, do you know what is your Pokemon knowledge like? And I'm asking for a reason.
Yeah, it has to be better and better. So I keep trying to learn more. The store, we can't keep unopened boxes in stock. And of our singles, our Pokemon singles are the ones that we're now changing out and filling the most. And that only has happened really since December of last year. So,
And I'll tell you why I'm asking the question, because I was at a card show in Palm Beach a month ago. 100 dealers, 40 of them were Pokemon dealers. That's number one. Number two, Rico, myself, and JM, if you take the three of us, we do not know one thing about Pokemon. So I'd like you to consider coming on the show at some point in time in the future and give us, let's do a Pokemon primer, because I know a lot of our viewers are always talking about Pokemon and don't know a damn thing about it and how it works. I mean, my grandkids do, but I don't know. Anyways, would you be willing to do that?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Let's talk about security and theft. I think it's rampant in the hobby. I think it's gotten out of hand. I think it's getting very sophisticated. What are your thoughts on that, and what measures do you guys take?
Yeah, first of all, our new store location we moved in 2.5 years ago is a former jewelry store. So that was important to us. Already have a facility that's got extra security built in. And there are things, and I tried to guide other stores too. There's certain things you can do. There's an extra layer you can put on your big windows if you're a storefront, that if somebody tries to do a grab and go, you can prevent them from getting in real fast, because it holds all the glass back and might take a couple minutes to get through instead of a second. And security cameras are important. It's tough because we want people to be able to go through cards and handle them and see what they like. But with people pulling their phones in and out, and a lot of people that can be in there, it's tough to manage. Last week we just caught somebody who was a longtime customer, and in one day he tried to steal 3 different times.
Unbelievable.
And it's sad, but it's part of the situation. Now, the bigger ones you're alluding to at the shows, these are well planned.
Oh yeah, these guys are pros.
You have professionals. I mean,
they're pros.
And police have told me the professionals, they go out in teams, and they are well planned and coordinated. They know what to look for. They know when to strike and how to strike. So if you are setting up at a show, even you should really think about having security cameras.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's sad. All right, Lucky's March Madness. The White Plains Card Show is Friday to Sunday, March 21st to the 23rd. Actually, that's over, isn't it? What's it? Oh no, actually, I think it ends. Hold on. When does that end? What's today? I believe it is. This is the last. It is the last. Shop over 400 of your favorite hobby dealer tables on over 40,000 square feet of this sports collectibles paradise of vintage and modern day sports cards and memorabilia. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies are on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Some of the biggest names in basketball, baseball, and football are represented. Fergie Jenkins, Lee Smith, Raleigh Fingers, Gary Sheffield, George Gervin, Dave Bing, Jack Sikma, Sam Perkins, Derek Coleman, and Larry Brown, and many more. Go to luckycardshows.com for tickets and more information about the March Madness show. Rico, how about our friends on the CSA shows?
Well, let me tell you about them. CSA Shows is proud to present the Chantilly Show, being held on April 4th through the 6th. Now, this is not in capitals, where I could read it good, because you sent me the small letters.
Well, make them big.
I can't. Well, first of all, April 4th through the 6th is held at the Dulles Expo Center in Chantilly, Virginia. What a great name, Chantilly, Virginia. Just minutes from the Dulles International Airport. Celebrating 28 years at the same location, there'll be over 450 plus dealer tables, exhibiting on over 125,000 square feet of space. That's big. With both vintage sports cards, memorabilia, as well as modern-day sports treasures, you won't have to look very far for that special card, bat, ball, or autograph. Major auction houses and third-party grading companies will be on site to assist you with your collecting and authentication needs. Some of your favorite superstars will be on hand, including NFL stars of today like Jamar Chase, Dak Prescott. Hey, Dak's going to be there. And CD Lamb.
He's good. Good ball
Oh,
player.
man. Pro Football Hall of Fame 2025 inductees Eric Allen, Sterling Sharp, and Antonio Gates. Baseball Hall of Famers Johnny Bench, Cal Ripken, David Ortiz, and many more. Over 40 guests in total. For more information, go to www.csashows.com. That's the Chantilly Show, where you can find all of your sports collectible treasures. Joe Durlick does a great job.
Great job.
And by the way, Joe, if you're listening, can you get me some autographs for these guys? Personal to Rico. Thank you.
Right, that's good. Just a couple of programming notes. This coming weekend, Rico and I are going to be down in Wellington for a big Italian festival. All proceeds are going to go to Little Smiles, a children's organization down here for cancer kids and kids that have fallen on hard times. Rico is going to be at the Little Smiles booth signing autographs, pictures, meet and greet, all that good stuff, while Tom and Ellen and Elsie will be walking around eating hot dogs, burgers, pizza, and the like.
And you too.
That's correct. Also, on May 8th, Rico and I are going to be back home up in Massachusetts, and we're going to be emceeing and co-hosting a great event for cancer kids. The charity is called Lucy's Love Bus. Great organization up there. They're going to have an auction, silent auction, and Rico and I were asked to MC that. We're going to have some great memorabilia, all kinds of cool stuff. So there's a lot of stuff going on. All right, Chuck, we're just about out of time, but let's talk about real quickly. We've got about a minute and a half to talk about Wheatland Auctions. What's your auction schedule looking like?
So next one's going to go live in May, run for 4 weeks. We're working on that now. People are still getting stuff to us to sometimes get graded or authenticated and put into that. And already have some more cool tobacco cards, and might be the last of the Alhine collection of signed cards, but we're going through another 10,000 to 30,000 plus cards from that collection. You know, JSA indicated it's probably one of the, if not the biggest, through the mail collections that somebody has ever obtained.
Incredible. So what is your website for Wheatland?
www.wheatlandauctionservices.com.
And what's your website for VSM Sports Card Outlet?
VSMSportsCardOutlet.com. And definitely check out the Card Life TV show that's airing right now, because it did a documentary on both.
Very cool.
They can get it at your website?
No, they can go on whatever their program listing is. It's on whatever, you know.
Yeah. You go into your local cable TV, the listings and schedule, and you just the Card Life.
Awesome.
It'll tell you when it's coming up. Yeah.
Wow, nice.
All right, Chuck.
Love to get you guys on. Yeah.
We're really, really thrilled that you came on finally, and you brought a lot of content. We had a lot of fun with you. Best to your beautiful wife.
Yes, Stacy.
And actually, we'll see you at the National. So looking forward.
Yeah, come hang out with us, guys.
We will. All right, guys. Take care, Rico.
Tom will buy you lunch too.
Excuse me, Rico. I'm losing. You're breaking up. Rico, I'll see you in a couple of days.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Rico, bring money. Plenty of money.
Yeah. Well, okay. No, I'm on a diet.
Well, wait a minute. You're staying at our house, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I'll tell you what. $139.99 a night, no tax.
All right. It's
fair enough.
Deal.
And the pool, you can use it for nothing.
Wow. I'll take that.
Fair enough?
Yes.
All right. Take care.
Right.
Chuck,
thanks.
Have a good one.
Take care, Chuck.
Rico, take care. Chrissy, great job. And to our viewers and listeners, happy collecting.